Those people lived in bondage for 5 years. And they existed, they didn't live.
They started getting into Holland and the Germans dug down, started to fight back.
And that's when Jerry started sending out these V-bombs. They were the darndest things, you know. They sounded like a motorcycle without a muffler. And you knew when they were coming.
And all of a sudden we ran over tenement mines, took the track off and everything, and it was ablaze. When I came to, I was about 30, 40 feet from where the joint gun carrier was.
There was a haystack. It turned out that it was a camouflaged 88 gun, and they are deadly guns.
It's called enfilade fire, which is sideways fire. So they had placed machine guns lengthways to the canal so they could fire down the canal and shoot the hell out of us.
But at the same time, we knew the Germans were on the run, and like an animal on the run is vicious.
Like it was mostly on the dikes where we were fighting. Like, and we'd be dug in one dike and across the other side, like there's water in between, and the Germans would be on the other.
And of course, they kept them, any of the places there was dikes like that they were traveling on, they kept them covered with fire all the time, artillery fire or something like that all the time.
You didn't do much moving around, but all we would do was taking bearings of German gunfire. And if you see a troop movement, you took bearings, and then our artillery was to bomb.
And patrols became another thing, where we would be patrolling every night. There were different type of patrols. There was a listening patrol, there were fighting patrols, there were capture patrols.
You get in a loaded buffalo, you can't have too many waves because you may be 6 inches to 3 inches to the water.
We thought we were hungry, but we weren't hungry at all. We just thought we were.
And there was about 7 or 8 children of age of maybe 10, something like that, stand there with a hungry look on their face. We all gave them our breakfast. We didn't take any.
I saw for the first time in my life cases of what they called starvation edema. Edema is a swelling of the body, and this occurred in children.
There was a little girl in the storefront. She had a Brussels sprout, and there was no sprouts on it. She was just chewing on the stalk. And there was 3 other little children who were just as hungry as she was, and they stalked her like wolves.
And the ones you joined up with and went into battle with are becoming less and less. Then mentally you become that you know it's your turn next. It just has to be, because they're all gone.
I got hit side of the head, I guess, helmet. These doctors said that's what saved my life, was a helmet. Because it took one eye out completely, damaged the other one.
I was standing on the seat and it blew me out. The rest incinerated right there. They never did get out. That was on the 3rd of May. The war was over on the 5th of May.
The greatest thing for the morale of troops is, in the front line, is to know that there are first aid facilities, ambulances and so on, right there in the front.
They had a casualty clearing station. Casualties were brought into the casualty clearing station and were shipped back to hospitals.
Just taking an extra minute to just stop by the bedside and say, well, how are you today? Have you heard from home? These kinds of things were what made the difference in the lives of the wounded, I think.
When we were in that hospital, the water main got broken, and a bunch of these ladies got together when we had no water, and they formed a bucket brigade, And they were coming across there with their bucket and laughing and talking, and a machine gunner shot them all down right in the middle of the road.
We were clearing the house one night, and I walked up and I kicked this door open. Door across the room flew open. Guy standing there, and I started lifting up the rifle. He started lifting his up, and I said, "This guy's going to beat me." So I pulled the trigger anyway. You know, I figured if I could scare him, I maybe get another shot into myself in the full-length mirror across the room. So I shot myself in the mirror.
I took the pin out of the grenade, and I just held, and it was left in this hand. I didn't throw it away like the other one. And I was at it ready to go. And there was another noise. I was just going to roll it down the stairs, and I heard a baby crying.
You're never the same person if you ever take somebody else's life. It does something to you.
Down the road comes the German army that we opened fire. We caught all them. They didn't even know we were there, because I was a butcher, though. It was kind of, but it was war.
Then I got the word from the set that I was to open up with the flamethrowers. And you realize that there are human beings there. So you know what I did? I got the Padre. I wanted somebody to tell me this was okay. I mean, you don't burn people alive. I didn't join the army for that.
It's the easiest thing in the world to kill a person. It is. But it's awful hard to live with it afterwards.
I thought, if I hadn't killed him, he'd be a grandfather like me. And he would have, he had 2 children, I have 3 grandchildren.
We'd be traveling along the roads in Holland, and we see rifles piled up sky high. They just throw the rifles on one pile there, and they knew the war was over.
12, 14, and 15-year-old kids and 60 and 70-year-old men. It was really sickening to see it. And this is what this proud nation had come to. Eh?
They were put into compounds, and our job was to prevent the resistance movement from getting in and killing them, because they'd given up all their arms and were all there, which was a funny position to be in.
The Dutch were, you know, they joined in with the Germans, and they called them the Dutch SS. We had a lot of them there.
You understand too that if they were there for German soldiers there for 6 years, a lot of those girls probably had married German soldiers, or they mixed with them. If anybody had done anything like that, they were outcasts.
They'd throw them up in the air and in a blanket and shave all their hair off and then let them out. And these girls would go up, put kerchiefs on their heads, lean out the window, and watch the others being humiliated.
And the order we heard on the guns, we never heard since D-Day. Cease fire, empty guns. The war was over.
I can understand why you kiss the soil that you come back to. You come back to freedom.
And everybody had something orange on for the House of Orange. You know, armbands, and little girls had hair ribbons, and they sang their beautiful national anthem, and they had their own flags. It was wonderful.
And they even took their people who were sick in their beds out there so they could see us. Shake hands, and pat us, give us flowers.
Women galore, trying to get at you, you know, just to shake your hand or kiss you or bring you flowers. But I mean, it was oh God, it was hard to describe because there were so many people.
It doesn't come free. We've given up an awful lot. And they're out there under the stones.